Hello and welcome to the Miserable Metal Mind podcast, and this is episode number 14. This is a podcast that involves three metal fans of a similar age and similar heritage. Myself, Thrash Dice Bolton, and Hutch like the new stuff, but Miserable Simon does not. Once a month we meet up with recommendations and try to change his miserable metal mind. But before we go on to those albums, what have we been up to, gentlemen?
Paul, you go first for a change.
For a change. Right, I'm going to keep it sweet this week. Short and sweet. I saw The Almighty at Steelhouse.
There we go. I'm glad you've mentioned this because I was going to bring this up in dispatches.
Yeah. Thankfully, they were the last band on, and the firework display at the end was very nice, but they were okay. But yeah, Steelhouse, the main event in the last fortnight. Unbelievably, we had 3 days of absolutely astonishing weather, 1 5-minute rain shower, and that was all we had. It was unheard of. We were all there with our wellies and our overcoats and everything, and Arwen ended up buying new clothes from one of the stalls because she hadn't taken anything to deal with the sun. So it was a great weekend. We had Accept doing the most amazing show. We had our friend Dane playing on the Bastard Sons. They put in a shift. Skindred headlined the Saturday night, and then there was a great tribute to Bernie Marsden on the Friday. But yeah, it was a cracking weekend. So that's festival number 2 or 3 of the year done, and now it's Bloodstock in 2 days' time. So that was
Bloodstock.
Can I is this Steelhouse in Wales? Was Living Colour there?
Oh, Living Colour were there, yeah. Excellent. Really enjoyed them.
I very nearly went to another gig because they were playing in Liverpool, and something else came up, so I didn't bother going. But I saw they were at Steelhouse, and then when I saw you at Steelhouse, I thought, oh, I hope Paul goes watching them.
Yeah, I just watched I shot nearly every band. It was interesting because a lot of the people that are on the kind of social media for Steelhouse are very much, why can't we have the same bands every year? I like those, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were quite critical of Living Colour, and I think those are the people that genuinely just didn't understand what they were about and the quality of them. Because watching Vernon Reid play, watching Corey Glover just do it so effortlessly, the whole thing was just stunning. I haven't seen them in years, but they were brilliant.
Yeah, they are one band that I want to see.
So why did you not go?
Just something else came up, so I didn't bother going. And I'm not driving all the way to Steelhouse. But I looked at what Steelhouse was. I think
no. Yeah. It's a long way off and all for us.
Yeah, I mean, they did do some gigs with Mr. Big as well, didn't they? There's some gigs with Mr. Big.
I don't know.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was... Do I go watching Living Colour, watch the first minute of Brother, Daddy, Lover, Little Boy, whatever that song is, of Mr. Big?
Oh, the drill song that makes Arwen queasy, yeah. It's a bit wrong now.
But Paul,
Eric Martin is shot to bits, though. His voice is gone. Yeah,
but I think to watch Vernon Reid and then Paul Gilbert, I mean, if you're a guitar enthusiast, I mean, that is a night, really.
Well, yeah, I mean,
isn't it?
The whole band, I mean,
definitely
everyone and Mr. Big. I mean, Billy Sheehan's no bassist, is he?
No, not at all. I mean, I've had the joy of watching Billy Sheehan play with Joe Satriani once, so
yeah,
that was a good night as well.
No, you made me watch Mr. Big, didn't you, Simon?
Well, I mean, I wasn't there. Yeah, because you're going to get, if you even spend just 10 minutes watching, I understand if no one likes the music, but just to watch two masters, you get to watch Billy Sheehan and Paul Gilbert, you know, for 10 minutes. I mean,
I watched the whole thing. I watched the whole set.
And had a good night, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't walk off, so.
Well, there you go, you see.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. Could have been Cradle of Filth.
What about you, Neil? What have you been doing?
Well, talking of Greenleaf Filth and black metal, I was at Darkness Over Cumbria, as you know. Possibly the last summer one. Well, it sounds like it is the last summer one there. Yeah, the reviews online. It's just such a good festival, such a good atmosphere.
Any bands we've heard of, or are they all
podcast friends Offness were on playing, and they were outstanding.
Offness?
Yes.
They were one of my Christmas choices.
Oh my God! They were an awful band, weren't they?
They were. Honestly,
is that the band
brilliant.
that could only? Were they the only on YouTube, weren't they, or something like that?
I think it was.
Yeah, horrible.
No,
horrible. I mean, if you're saying that's a highlight of the festival,
it was a highlight.
Let's hope that festival finishes pretty soon.
Horrible bastard. No, really good. Really, really good. I've been listening to the new Barbarian Hermit album a lot. That's just really, really good. And
what a name for a band.
It's a good name, isn't it?
It's a great name. Yeah, that is a good name. Although I think we're going to come on to names after.
I have been listening to the Patriarchs in Black, which we had reviewed on our websites also. I read the review of Andrew Matthews' review, and that pulled me in very much. Sorry? And the band commented, yeah?
Comment, I know. Yeah. And it was their response about no one's ever had a go at our name before. And Andrew had said, this is going to be one of my top albums of the year. And it was like the most barbed compliment I've ever read, but never mind.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a very good album. That's a very good album. And yeah, besides that, getting ready for Bloodstock. Getting quite excited for Bloodstock. Friday, as we have discussed, is going to be a madness kind of mad day.
Who's on at Bloodstock?
Simon, you don't care.
No, come on.
You don't care.
Listen, it's not about me. It's about the listeners.
If I said Choir Boys, can't think of any. Can't think of any of your shit bands now.
Tiger Tails, Poison.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was going for. I couldn't think of anybody.
Hang on. Wait a minute. Back up. I don't like Choir Boys and I don't like Tiger Tails. Poison. Yeah, I got watching them.
Oh God. Well, I went. Choir Boys were the first band I watched after COVID. In fact, I was stood next to Paul at Steelhouse, and they were outstanding. It was brilliant.
Oh, well, there you go.
We had fun, didn't we?
So don't slag them off.
Very much, yeah. I'm not slagging them off at all. Yeah, I was talking to some girls.
Give us the highlights of Bloodstock. Who's on the highlights?
Highlight for me is Opeth, obviously, on Friday.
Oh, God. Right.
Also, Clutch on Friday.
Who?
There are a couple of Clutch.
Oh, go on.
You should like Clutch, Simon. Have you heard them?
Right, really good friend of mine and music producer that we all know.
You haven't got any friends.
All right, someone I know. Mm-hmm. Everyone seems to really like Clutch, and every time I've listened to Clutch, I just can't get on with him. I don't know why.
Which albums? Because they span quite a wide range of music.
Listen, this is me. I've heard one album, and that was it.
And you don't know which one it was?
Not a fucking clue.
There are some friends of the podcast to play, and so on Thursday we have Tail Gunner.
Yeah,
never heard of him.
Friday we have King Kraken.
Oh yeah.
You've been on. We have Rotting Christ, who you loved so much last week.
Fantastic. That's a reason not to go.
I'm trying to think if we've had anyone else that's featured on there.
We've got Desert Storm. Last month's guest, Matt, he's the bass player for Desert Storm also for a short while now. So he individually, a friend of the podcast.
We hope. That's if he's still talking to us. We've not heard from him since the podcast.
Yep. So there are a few bands on that.
Right. Do you think anybody's ever watched a band at a festival and gone and tried to find the promoter to get the money back?
If I watch Saturday's headliner, I will be trying to do that.
Who's Saturday's headliner?
I can't even say it.
Come on, who's it?
Architects.
Architects.
They supported Metallica in Denmark, and I just, when, and I know you're being honest when you often say this about bands, you just don't get it. You just cannot see why people like it. I just do not get it. There's absolutely nothing for me. It's not, but I also find it awful. It's fucking awful. For me, I've got to be honest. I mean, we've got loads of fans.
Right.
In fact, one of the lads he's writing for us, he quite likes them, so he's going to cover them, I think. But I'm not even gonna try, because I'm gonna get ready for Satyricon.
Who?
Saturday night. It's
that's interesting, because Satyricon aren't playing until Sunday.
Oh yeah, but I'll be getting ready till Saturday. Is it really? I thought it was Saturday. Oh wow.
No, it's Corpiclani on Friday. On Saturday.
It is.
You there we go. Come and watch Brett dance to vodka, because that's my money on this year's disastrous Brettism will be pissed as a fart during Corpiclani.
I shall definitely join in with that.
That's it. Are you going as well then, Paul?
Yeah. I'm working it. Yeah.
All the influential people in the know will be at Bloodstock, Simon.
Right, Simon. Apart from your usual and your almost living colour, what have you been up to?
Just honestly the usual. Absolutely nothing. I been to the cinema twice. What did I watch at the cinema?
Deadpool.
Watched Deadpool, Wolverine, and I watched Despicable Me 4.
What did you think of Deadpool?
The little yellow people in Deadpool were fantastic. Despicable Me 4 was a bit violent. I think I might have them the wrong way around. I'm not too sure. Deadpool, no, I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. I think it's probably the best Marvel thing since Spider-Man.
Simon, are we agreed on a Marvel film?
What, that we like it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's about 40 of them. Fucking hell, we must agree on at least more than one.
But it's not been for quite some time, has it?
Well, they've not done a good one for some time.
That's where the argument begins.
What was the last good one you saw?
It would be a muted argument, I think.
I mean, if you've got to think about it,
I have to think about it.
Oh, there you go then. That, I think we'll end that one there. And then, just for those who always ask me about my triathlons, because, I do have a fan base of people constantly messaging me saying, please keep us updated. Yeah. Please keep us updated on the tries, Si. So just for those people, I finished 25th in one on Sunday. So that's not too bad. There's only 26 of us in it, but I mean, I finished 25th. It sounds better, doesn't it?
I don't believe that. No. So I was going to ask you about this, Simon, with the, I'm guessing you've been watching the Olympics and the triathlon.
Yeah.
Would the condition of the Seine have worried you, or would you have just thought, no, you just got on with it?
Yeah. I mean, what you've got to remember is I am Northern, so by default, I am already probably E. coli'd up to the eyeballs as it is. I'm dirty. I don't wash my hands. I'm happy to drink dirty water now. We all have lead pipes around here, so it probably wouldn't have bothered me. If anything, it looked clean. It looked clean compared to the taps we get, stuff coming out of my taps. So, no, I'd have just jumped in. And they're only in for 20 minutes. I mean, how much damage can it do in 20 minutes? It's not that bad, is it?
I don't know, but that's obviously that was what they thought as well. So
yeah, well, I mean, if they'd just practiced with dirty water and not washing their hands and keeping themselves, keep putting germs in your body, then you'll be defending against it anyway, aren't you?
Perfect Olympic training,
and that's why none of my kids ever get ill, because I tell them, don't bother washing your hands. let them germs get in.
So what's your time compared to Olympian? I know you're not going to be the same as Olympian, but
well, over the Olympic distance, what did Alex Yee do it in? I'm about an hour behind him, I would have thought.
Okay.
Over Olympic distance. His 10K is 13 minutes quicker than me. His swim's about 10, and his bike's about 20-ish, 25 over that distance. So I think we'll be about an hour behind.
Right, which is obviously, and it pains me to say this, still quite impressive.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. So, and on that, we're really getting boring here, but without that, you can draft on that bike. On the bikes the races I do, you can't draft, so you've got to stay 10 meters away from the next cyclist.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Well, they can all ride in a bunch, so they're not riding as hard. So if there's 10 of them in a group, then you're not the ones at the back aren't working as hard. So you're going quicker, but not working as hard.
Right. Hey, I've learned something.
There you go. And
well, that's it. I'm pleased to say that today in the pool I clocked the same time as one of the Olympic swimmers did, except I was doing 4 lengths and they were doing 1. So the speed of those guys
unbelievable, aren't they?
Yeah. Incredible. The 100 meters, the 50 meter sprint is like 22 seconds, something like that. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, my best 50 is 44. They're twice as fast as me. They're twice as quick as me. Every time I've seen, they've done the twice as quick, the swimmers. So unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, and big news round here last night, because obviously Keely Hodgkinson won the 800
Yeah, that was outstanding as well. Yes.
Yeah. So she's only 2 miles up the road from us, where where she comes from. So yeah, fantastic round here at the minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, good.
Right, are we going to go over to some music then?
Warning. Please take all negative comments in the tongue-in-cheek manner they are intended. Basically, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
What's first? Head ahead.
Okay, all right. I will go first as we go over to Finland for some gothic doom metal. This is Counting Hours' second album, and it was released in February this year. They formed in 2015. This is their second album. Most people know I love a bit of doom, and this is right up my street, with members of Shape of Despair, Rapture, Impale Nazarene, and The Chant all coming together to shape this band and music. We've got death growls, some beautiful clean singing, all wrapped up in joyous, bleak tunes. They've got dark moments, they've got uplifting moments, there's metal moments, there's gothic moments, and they all come together to create a wonderful sound. We've got sing-along sections, usually in the choruses, and the drumming is energised, obviously keeping Simon happy. The twin guitar sound is a win for me, and there are some high-quality riffs. I am in. For the playlist, I am going to choose No Closure. But before I go over to the lads for their opinion, I would like to ask you, the listener, what is yours? Please comment on wherever you're listening to this and let us know the order you would rank the albums we are discussing. And of course, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Okay, I will go over to Paul for this one.
So, I've got a problem with this album so much as there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's got excellent musicianship. It's got a pedigree because it's got bands like Rapture, as you say, who were phenomenal. The problem I've got with it is that it is in a market that is so saturated that I find it really difficult for mellow doom, mellow death, whatever you want to label it as, to actually stand out. So it's very much in the same genre as early Catatonia. There's a bit of Swallow the Sun in there, which is unsurprising because they're the Finnish band. There's bits of the Gothenburg. There's bits of little bits of In Flames flicking around. There's a bit of Dark Tranquillity in there. There's bits of October Tide, all kinds of things. there is absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. And I've played it 4 or 5 times and I've let it roll, but nothing sticks.
Wow. Okay.
And that's the problem I have with it, is that nothing sticks with it. And that may be because it's a genre which I find really difficult to distinguish. I think it is a genre where everything sounds very similar. Even though it is, I love Catatonia, it's very intricate and it's beautifully played, and I don't have a problem with it, and I would never turn it off. I'm quite happy to listen to it, but I'm thinking about it now and I can't remember a song.
Right.
And this is for me the problem with Mellow Death, Mellow Doom, is that there is nothing sitting there that I go, I can remember. And yet, if you think about my choice, we'll talk about that in a bit, I can already think of 3 or 4 songs that remain in my head. And that is the problem with the genre, not just the band. As I said, I think it's beautifully constructed and I don't have a problem with it. But that's really the challenge I had with it.
Okay. I'm still going to take that as a win for me. As a reasonable win, anyway.
I would not take that as a win.
Well, I'm getting ready for what you're going to say first. Then I'm going to compare it.
I mean, I just can't say it as well as how Paul has just put it. But I've tried. Here we go. Counting hours. Firstly, shit name for a band. When you name your band Counting Hours and your music is as fucking boring as bland as what this music is, you are left with someone who's going to comment on your band saying, I was fucking counting the hours before it stopped. And that's all I was doing. Fucking horrible.
Seriously? There was nothing for you at all?
Here we go. What an embarrassing piece of crap.
Oh my God.
How can one band be so bland and boring? It is their mission to make us all go to sleep. Then they've completed the mission. Mission complete, lads. You've done it. Totally forgettable. Totally unoriginal. And I hate this word. It's fake. It's horrible.
What do you mean by fake?
It feels like, and you kind of described it as I was picturing it, 4 other people or 5 other people from different bands all got together. What should we do? I think we could create something really good. Oh, well, let's hear what you've got. I've got this. Listen to this. And like you said,
is that your Finnish accent?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, I'm not getting cancelled for my accents. But everything, it is so... And this might come across as a compliment, but it isn't a compliment. It is so polished and so the distortion is so smooth. Distortion is meant to be a bit dirty, a bit cracky, and distort something. But even their distortion it's all digital. Everything they're playing through is digital, and you can tell there's no warmth that comes through on the music. There's just even the cymbal crashes of the drums are the same level as the guitars. Nothing breaks through the speakers at all. It's fucking crap.
No, I know you have an issue with that. Listen,
this is an insult. This band.
Oh my God!
Every band out there who have never played a festival, who have never gone on a tour, whether it be for 3 days, 5 days, 5 weeks. This band are an insult to every one of them bands. No. Because they are all better than this band. Yes, and you've said it yourself. The only reason this band even exists is because of the other bands.
I did not use those words. I did say that they have members from other bands. I did not say that's the only reason they exist.
You didn't have to, because that's how it comes across. Because the shit, go back to your other bands and carry on doing what you were doing in them bands. If they're good, hats off to you, lads. But this isn't good. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And I feel sorry for other bands that I know who have never had the chance to do what this band are doing, because this band are taking away a chance of another band who are better than them. And it's an insult.
Well,
I think
listen to it. Listen, people listening to this, the two people in America, we know who you are. Thank you very much. Don't fucking buy this. Don't download it. Don't think, oh, I've got to listen to what this is. If it's that bad, I want to hear it.
No.
Don't do it, because you're giving them another play. If anything, try and dislike it. Put the thumb down on a video or something, because they are horrible.
I think you can take my comment as a win then, Neil.
I'm definitely having that as a win now, yeah. Simon!
Like I said, Paul, you just said it more eloquently.
Can you not, Simon, can you just not say, yeah, it's just not for me?
But it's not even not for me. Who is it for?
Me!
Honestly, who is that for? How is that for you?
Because I love this kind of music. I love this style of music.
What style of music is it? Because it's no style at all. It's just boring metal. It's just 4 or 5 guys in a room going, oh, yeah, I'm just going to play this. Yeah, let's just try and go through this. Dun, dun, dun. Isn't it good? Oh, brilliant that. Yeah. Oh, but it's fucking... It's not... It's horrid. It's horrid. Honestly, this is how bad it is, right? This is how bad this is.
This is how bad you think it is.
No, this is how bad it is. It's not how I think. It's how it is. I would sooner listen to Rotting Christ than listen to these.
Yes. Retrospective victory is mine.
No.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Simon, it's just... No.
I loved it when you picked this. I saw it in the thing and thought, oh my God, what have you done, Neil?
I have, obviously, a long time ago, I stopped actually trying to pick something that sounded...
A long time ago, you should have just stopped.
And as last month showed us, nobody knows what Simon's going to like or dislike. But I have to be honest, because this is not extreme. I know there's the occasional growl, but I know it's not extreme. Sometimes the songs are quite long. But I thought some of it might actually appeal to you, Simon, in a small way. So yeah.
How? Even the extreme, and every time we've done something that is extreme, I've always said there's still something in something of them. Even Black Braid to the end of it wasn't as extreme. The last part of Black Braid wasn't extreme if you go back and listen to what I said. Even the extreme crap, there's something in it. There's nothing in this. It's just fucking shit from beginning to end.
Right. Well, the listeners need to know that that's wrong.
The listeners need to know that 2 of us, 2 out of 3, and like Meatloaf said, that ain't bad. Yeah.
Well, check it out on the playlist. And let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments.
Don't check it out.
You gotta check it out. People need to decide whether they're on my side, Paul's side, or your side.
No, they'll be on mine.
I didn't realise there were sides. Are we having competition? Oh, wow.
As long as Simon loses, yeah.
Well, I'm used to that.
Right. Well, there. I will definitely take that as a failure from Simon and as a mediocre from Paul. But I genuinely, I really do like that album, and I love that type of music. So that probably
honestly, we need to do that Freaky Friday thing where I can go into your mind and body and just realise what the hell's going on in there.
That's not even worth thinking about. I think on that one we should move on to Paul's choice now.
Okay. So, in contrast to the melancholic misery that Neil has brought us, I brought you Battlesnake from Australia and their second album, The Rise and Demise of the Motor Steeple. It ticks every one of Simon's boxes because it is 31 minutes and 5 seconds in length. It's got solos, it's got sing-along bits, it's got choruses, it's got speed, it's got memorable hooks, it's got everything. But there's a story to this band which I must tell you about, and it concerns my best mate Brett, who has a track history of finding bands that he likes and becoming completely obsessed with them, hence his various journeys across the pond to see Gwar all the time. But this, remember, is a guy that saw a picture of the lead singer of Big Elf several years ago, who played with two keyboards side to side and wore a top hat. I've seen Big Elf, yeah. And Brett went to Nottingham from Cardiff to see them without hearing a note because he liked
just because of the picture.
Yeah. Drove to Nottingham midweek and then drove home after the show because he'd seen a picture of this band and said, they look interesting, I'm going to go and see them. Anyway, these guys are from Australia. There are a lot of them in the band. I think there's 6 or 7 of them in the band. They're described as a genetically engineered cyborg superchild of Queen Judas Priest and King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard, which gives you a kind of flavour about the kind of delivery that they do. Brett has been badgering them for a few months now about when they were coming to the UK. Turns out they were coming to the UK in April, so Brett went running off and bought tickets to see them, only to realise that he'd already got tickets to see Bruce Dickinson in Swansea on the same night. So then found out they were playing in a festival in Cardiff, booked tickets for the festival, only to find that they were only playing the after show party in the evening. So he had a ticket for the whole day festival, which he didn't use. Anyway, it's a ball of chaos. It's insanity. It's very much like, I think it echoes the album that Carl brought us back last year. So 2 or 3 it was, with King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard. I think it's crazy. I'm not even sure whether I like it or not. I just think it's mad. So, I think it's just good fun, and I thought it was a bit different, so that's why I threw it in. I had reviewed it for a site anyway, but yeah. So that was it. Battlesnake, the rise and demise of the motor steeple, and I'm going to pick I Speak Tongues, which is the opening. It's the middle track, I think, for the album as my choice.
All right, well, I'll jump into this before Simon has another rant, no doubt. I'd never heard of these guys, never heard of them before. I saw the album cover and I was expecting some kind of blackened death metal just from looking at the cover. Then I saw the promo photo and I was expecting another Night Flight Orchestra. But when I pressed play, I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised it's not Night Flight Orchestra. I fucking love this. It's absolutely fantastic. I played it a couple of times from your suggestion, for podcast research, and I cannot stop playing it. I absolutely love it. I've watched interviews with them. They've actually, what I forgot written down here, they said they like to be thought of as Lord of the Rings meets Lord of the Rings meets Mad Max meets the Bible. They said they saw lots of rock bands with 2 guitar players, really liked it, and thought, what can we do better than that? Let's have 3 guitar players.
3.
Honestly, I loved it. I was doing loads of research myself, and I've got some UK dates coming up. They're playing in Manchester in October, and I am definitely going.
Their live shows, you'll speak to Brett in the next couple of days, but I think he did actually get to see them, and I think they're meant to be completely batshit when you see them live. So,
well, I watched a couple of videos online, and the videos must have cost about 50 quid to make, and they're batshit, and they're also excellent.
Yeah.
So here we go. Simon's going to bring us all down from our celebration of madness. Come on, what's he thinking?
Well. What a joyous experience this is.
Woo!
I had a smile on my face.
Chicken dinner.
I had a smile on my face all the time listening to this album. Firstly, lads, thanks, because it is only 31 minutes long, and as all good bands, short and sweet, get in, get out. So hats off to you for that. this band showing other bands, counting hours, take note.
Shut up. Shut up.
You can
get off your high horse. Just carry on.
You can write and play music that you can sing along to. Also, you can the dueling guitars that are in this throughout the album are really good. There's different time signatures in there. There's tempo changes in there. After that minute of intro music, the song that kicks in to that is Mortar Steeple. When after the chorus, it does like a half time change. It's like a boom. It's a fucking. That is what I'm on about. Where bands, when they're so boring, counting hours, that when you just have to do something that makes your ears prick up and go, fucking hell, I wasn't expecting that. I was enjoying it. It had a good groove and beat to it to start with, and then they throw that halftime feel in that coming out of the chorus. Just absolutely fantastic. They've got a really, really nice guitar crunch sound as well. Again, distortion, Neil, sounding like distortion. I'll put £1 million on it now that they are plugged into fucking valve amps and you can hear every single valve coming through on this. Not like the digital shit of counting crappy hours. The singer, I'm glad that you mentioned Priest because I actually wrote down, he reminds me in parts of Rob Halford of some of his singing. I could hear really early Rob Halford coming through on his singing. I just love it. Really, really, really good album. And when you said King Gizzard and the Wizard and the Lizard or whatever they were called, yeah, you're right. You can really get that feel.
Yeah, I thought exactly the same as well. Fellow countrymen as well.
Yeah. The only song I don't like really, I think, is Alpha and Omega, which I think is track 4. But it's not shit. It's just
all right. So what is it? What is it about that you don't like? Come on, let's drill down into this.
I don't know. The rest of the album's fantastic. That I Speak Tongues and the Pterodactyl. Is it
Pterodactyl Firehawk?
Firehawk. Yeah, brilliant. And like I say, the first tracks just intro music really, but I love the sound effects that they're sticking in as well. You know, all through the album, there's these little quirky sound effects that they're putting in. They're messing around with effects as well. You know, I just loved it. Really, really good album. Fantastic. And, you know, if you know, you know, but all the good bands have 3 guitarists in. So, you know.
You're obviously referencing Iron Maiden there, aren't you?
No.
Except.
Yeah, fantastic. Love it.
Well.
And if they play, are they honestly playing Manchester?
In October, yeah.
Whereabouts?
I've never been there. I think it's called Mulligan's.
It says Gulliver's on the website.
Sorry, Gulliver's. Yeah, sorry, not Mulligan's. Mulligan's is a.
You go to Mulligan's. I'll go to Gulliver's.
Oh no! I'm going to Gulliver's. I am going.
Yeah,
I would not be at all surprised if you see Brett there because I reckon I just looked at their tour. They're not coming anywhere near here. But
it's a Saturday, Paul. It is a Saturday as well, isn't it?
Saturday night. I would be unsurprised at all if Brett didn't turn up in Manchester to see him because he's likely to do, unless it clashes with Alice Cooper or something.
Oh shit! I'm watching Alice Cooper.
Yeah, but I don't think it is that day. What day is Alice Cooper, Simon? That one gig you're going to this year?
Hey, he's been to 3. Remember?
Yeah.
He said he's been to 3. Neil. He says he's been to 3. And Biffy Clyro.
Alice Cooper is
17th. Alice Cooper. So you're all right. It's the 5th Battlesnake.
The 5th.
Saturday night in Manchester.
Rock and roll. We're all in agreement. We are all in agreement.
Yeah.
You can have a chat with Brett before he starts drinking his 10% French lager and boxes of red wine and dancing around to Corpiclani on Saturday night. There we go.
I don't know who this Brett is, but already I feel like we're kindred spirits if this is how he picks music. Get him on. Get him on.
God,
Can Brett come on when?
That would be interesting.
Can Brett come on when Neil's off? We might have 3 good albums then.
That's unfair. That would really... We'll get Brett on one day. He can read tales of falling asleep in 35 degrees for 9 hours at Bloodstock in 2022
Ouch.
and not.
Yes.
Yeah.
And really wake up and not really miss a thing.
We didn't see a band on the whole day, so if that's your interpretation, yeah.
Right, so our next album was chosen by Danny from Rifulation Festival, who has not managed to make it this evening. I'm sure there's a good reason behind that, but we listened to his album. We've got thoughts on his album, so we will talk about his album. Paul, what were your thoughts on Greenleaf? And I can't remember what it was called.
The Head and the Habit.
Thank you.
So, when I listened to it, and I've listened to it several times, I genuinely couldn't place where they were from. I thought they were American. And then I realised that some of the influences pushed them more towards Scandinavia. And then I looked them up, and they're from Sweden.
Mm.
And that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, because there is a big Swedish stoner movement, and they sit very much in that genre. I didn't realise they'd been around for nearly a quarter of a century, which is interesting. And they're all from other bands as well, again, so it's another side project which is mushroomed in some respects. I really enjoyed this album. I thought it was great. There's a mix of stuff in there. There is obviously the kind of Swedish stoner movement, like Graveyard and people like that, I can hear in that. There's a bit of Cadaver from Germany. But I also picked up bits of Queen of the Stone Age. There was a little bit of that. There's a bit of Caius in there. And there's some early Rival Sons for me, which I'm a huge Rival Sons fan, and I wasn't expecting that. And again, that kind of came through. Whether that's intentional or not, I'm not sure. Probably not. That Obsidian Grin, An Alabaster Smile, Breathe In, Breathe Out, excellent songs. Really enjoyed it. Listened to this on repeat on Sunday when, guess what I was doing, Simon? Gardening.
Yeah.
Interestingly, it's designed for vinyl, so it's a 2 halves album. So it kind of splits, and once you know that, you can actually genuinely hear the kind of division. But
yeah, I didn't know that. Right.
Regardless of that, I just thought it was a really strong album, which doesn't sit completely in the kind of stoner. I think there was more to it than just, here's a stoner album, let's fuzz it all back and play it that way. So yeah, great choice, Dan. I'm afraid it's a shame that you weren't here to discuss it, but we will find out why eventually.
Yeah, I have to agree, to be honest. I absolutely love this album also. It's, as you say, there's more to it than just stoner rock, and it's not fair to say just stoner rock, but it's quite bluesy. I've watched some live footage of them on YouTube, and they really go for it. They don't just stand on stage, just trotting it out. They are guitar players all over the show, bass players, proper thumping it around. I watched a couple of videos of this album, and they have got a sense of humour. The videos are quite funny. It's bang up my street, this. I had no idea about so that was a genuine thought, was it, for a vinyl to do one side kind of one way?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I read. I mean, I'm sure that Danny would have told us a bit more about it, but that's my very brief research was to look up.
Right.
Which I don't always do. It's got to interest me enough to actually do 3 or 4 clicks and type a name. So,
but yeah, very good. I will carry on listening to this after we've done our podcast research. This will carry on in rotation. Very much like this, and I also, the sense of humour kind of threw me really. It's quite funny videos. So yeah, Simon.
Well, I did no research with these at all.
Never. You know what? I'm shocked.
And I'm shocked that they are members of other bands and they've come together, because wow. This is how you come together as a band and do something that's just going to blow everybody else out of the fucking water. That intro song, oh my god, it's one of the best songs.
What do you mean? You mean the first track?
That Breathe In, Breathe Out.
Yeah.
The minute that came on, and the drums start, and then the guitar starts, and then it's the do 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 do, and then the drums go bam da ba da ba da, and it kicks in. Fuck me, I want to be there watching them. Mm-hmm. I can just. It's one of them songs that when you hear, you think, I cannot wait to see this band live. I cannot wait to hear this, because if they play it anything like that, it's in my head. You know, the crowd going off when then drums kick in, just fucking amazing. What a song to open an album with, and it carries on in that vein all the way through the album. It is fucking great. I genuinely love this album, and this is the one all month I've been listening to ever since you think. I thought, I'm going to get ahead of myself this month. I'm going to listen to the albums early, and I'm so glad I listened to these albums early, because I got to listen to this album every week, 2 or 3 times a week. I've listened to this album. It is fucking brilliant. The only song I actually don't like is that Obsidian Grin.
I was just going to say, let me guess before you say it. I was going to guess Obsidian Grin.
It's just the one. I don't know why. Maybe that's the turning point on the LP. That's the end of side 1 or the beginning of side 2. Maybe that's, saying that's the change in tone in the album. I'm not too sure.
Obsidian Grin.
Yeah, but but it still doesn't bring the rest of the album down. It's so strong. The musicianship's brilliant. The drumming's fantastic. The guitar is brilliant. The lyrics are good. The singing's good. The production's good. I just want to see this band live, because honestly, if they're anything like I think they are in my head, you must do that. You hear an intro song on an album and you think, fuck me, wonder what this would be like live. You can picture it, can't you? Yeah. The lights go down, the kind of half walk on the stage, and the lights just go on the drums, and he's playing the beat straight away. Then one on the guitarist as he starts, and the lights come up as it kicks in, and I really, I'm going to listen to it after we've done this. It's fucking brilliant. That Breathe In, Breathe Out it's I think it's flown into my top 20 best ever songs.
Bloody hell.
Honestly, I absolutely love that song. And like I said, the rest of the album doesn't, it's not a Foo Fighters album, but you might get a half decent song at the beginning and the rest of the album shit.
It's been a while since you've mentioned Captain Bland.
But this does carry on in the great form that they start with.
Because it does slow down, doesn't it, though?
Yeah. I was having such a good time. I heard this album and I was thinking, who the fuck's picked this album? I didn't know it was Danny that picked the album. I actually genuinely thought you'd pick this album, Neil. So I thought, fucking hell, he's finally picked a good album. Then I read your messages again and I realised it wasn't you. So then I thought, well, Neil's might be shit, so I'll listen to Paul's album. I listened to Paul's album and that was fucking great. And then I thought, fucking hell, maybe Neil might have knocked it out of the park, but you hadn't. You picked some proper shit.
Stop going about. I was just thinking, I was going to question you on why it's okay for Danny's album to have band members from other bands come together and make music, when it's not okay for the album that. But I'm not interested in your opinion, so we will move on from that.
But it's clearly what they're bringing to it, isn't it? I mean, like you said, if Greenleaf have a sense of humour, then they're bringing that's shining through in their playing, in their music, in the songwriting. That having a good time comes across on the record.
Yes.
Where whatever the other band was called, when they're coming together, they're coming over and they're going that, hey, we're serious musicians and we're
no.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
No, one's doom is melancholic. One is doom melancholic metal. So you can't, can you?
Just stop there. Just stop there. Doom melancholic metal. Who the fuck wants to listen to that?
I love that kind of thing.
I want to listen to something that's going to put a smile on my face. Greenleaf put a fucking smile on my face.
Honestly, I am happy about that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. What a great album.
Well
done, Danny.
When you're talking about the live stuff, I would look on YouTube because there's a couple of live gigs on there, and they are, yeah. I had the same thoughts as you, but then when you actually see how hard they go for it, yeah, you're right. You are right, Simon. It's very, very good.
Yeah. It's just fantastic, brilliant.
Danny, we have to celebrate you. You would have had a win.
Yeah. But you're not here, so you didn't.
Play something we know.
Right, so we're going to move on from that one to the last album that we're going to discuss. Normally I would say, Simon, can you introduce your classic album? But this time I'm just going to say, your album.
Well, from somebody who only likes the crap that we've all had to listen to,
you've just liked the last album that I liked.
I can totally see why you wouldn't like something that's only going to bring warmth, joy, love, happiness into your life. You put this album on, and it makes them dull days shine. The sun shines every time I put this album on. I absolutely love it. I've had it on tonight as well. After Greenleaf, bang, here it came. The album I'm on about, listeners, is the Blue Album from Weezer. Now, I take it that not all the audience are going to like Weezer, but I would just ask you just to go and give this album a listen, because for me, summertime, and apparently it is summertime. I mean, the last few weeks have been summer, so, this is a perfect time to play this album, I would say. Don't play it in the winter, unless you're feeling really gloomy, or Neil's had you listening to some Scandinavian shit.
It must be something you're out there and your wife beat.
This song is just, it's full of great songs that you can sing along to, melodies that stay in your head, great riffs. The musicianship on it's really good. It's understated and it's really good. I put this album on and it always makes me smile, always cheers me up, and usually that's quite a tough thing to do, apparently. And I just love it. The song that I'm going to put on the playlist is Surf Wax America. Now you can rip it to bits.
Right, well then I'll go first on this one then.
Go on, get it out of your system. Just think of all that bad stuff I said about fucking counting the boring hours.
It's basically exactly the same as what you said for this album. It had absolutely nothing for me whatsoever. I did like alternative rock or pop rock, I suppose, in the 90s. I never listened to these. So half of my thinking was, well, right, but would I have liked these? Would I have liked it in the 90s if I'd heard it back then? I used to like bands like Cake and so on and so forth. And
yeah,
no, it's just nothing. It's completely nothing to remember, nothing grabbed hold. I had to try. I had to sit there and make myself finish listening to the album because I disliked it so much. And I really hope that's not because of a metal thing. It's because I do listen to stuff that's not metal. And I really hope it wasn't because of that. I just didn't like it because I can't argue with you on the musicianship. There's nothing wrong with that. But everything else is just nothing for me. I'm not going to start screaming and shouting like you do about things being crap and not being allowed to do things like that because I'm the decision maker. Yeah, it's not down to you what happens. You can have an opinion, and we all know your opinion's wrong. Especially, well, your opinion's wrong when it disagrees with mine. Yeah, it's just not for me. I'll never play it again. I even removed it from my iTunes library. I don't want it to ever crop up. If I get run over and someone looks at my library, that cannot be there. It's just, no. Gone, nothing. No.
Well, you're totally wrong. Paul, what do you think?
I'm looking at my notes here, right? And it says, I'm proud to say I'd never played this album before, and I will never play it again.
Yay! Simon talks out of his arse.
I haven't written that down. I've just got...
It's implied.
I don't understand how this band is so big. I don't understand how they sell out arenas, and they've sold Cardiff Castle earlier in the year, a couple of months ago. There is, like Neil, there is nothing there that snares me or drags me in. I'm not a big fan of any of this kind of music. No. I don't know who else you'd lump in with it. I don't even know if you'd put like bands like Green Day in with him or not. I don't know. I just don't like that kind of American pop rock. So I knew of them. I knew one or two of their songs, so I'm probably not best placed. I wasn't particularly digging it when they came out, which was early 90s, I think, wasn't it? 92, something like that?
94 when this album came out.
Right. So again, it was in that kind of gap when other things were going on in my life, which meant that music wasn't the main priority. So maybe it had been different, although I bloody hope not. I suppose I can understand why people like it, because I understand what you say, Simon, about it making you feel happy, about it being upbeat and bouncy and all the rest of it. But there was a band, here's an ironic for you. I went to the Patriot on Saturday night, had a Foo Fighters tribute band that I had to go and photograph, which was pretty hard work, and I only lasted an hour. But the support band played pop punk, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they were on for 50 minutes, and I thought they played the same song 12 times. That's how I felt about this to a certain extent. There are differences in this album. It's a bit cleverer than some band from the Valleys doing pop punk. I appreciate that. I just don't get it. And I think it's just down to my personal choice and my personal taste. I can appreciate, like any band that puts out an album which has sold millions, there is something there that people get. It's just not for me. Simple as that.
Yeah. I think what made them so big is there was obviously a gap in the market at the time. I mean, 94, what did we have in metal? We had, when did Lord come out?
Last month. We had last month's band.
I think
we had we had Pantera, we had
I've heard this argument before. Metal still existed, so that's
no, and I'm not saying it didn't exist. No, my point is, I think that maybe there was a bit of a lull in really good metal. You had the grunge on one side, and then I think these sat on the edge of grunge, coming into from the lighter, harder side of alternative, because they could easily they could, and I think they probably have, they could support some of the grunge bands, would be that Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. You could easily see them on a bill with them, but then at the same time you could see them on a bill with Radiohead and Coldplay, and I think they sit bang in the middle of that type of music. To be honest with you, there's stuff in there that when you see them play it, they with the guitars and the cymbals, and they're really hitting, and bam bam bam, and doing stuff like that. it does break through.
There's no bar, bar,
into
bar.
that.
There's no bar, bar, bar. That whole album. There's nothing. There's a bit of.
Don't embarrass yourself. Don't embarrass yourself because you listen to Surf Wax America and it's all the way through that song. But then at the same time, they had that great video for Buddy Holly. And that was just everywhere at the time, wasn't it? On MTV and whatever other TV stations were around at the time.
Yes, they did.
Then they've had songs on. They had songs in teen movies and teen shows that stayed on their soundtracks. You know, they were on Smallville. If anyone ever remembers Smallville, they're on the soundtrack to that.
No.
And I think that's why they've remained quite popular, because when all that stuff was quite big, if you were like 18 to 21, like some of us were at that point, then you've got fuck all to worry about when you're 18 to 21 most of the time. You know, you've just started work, you're just getting some money, you're going out all the time, and you want a good time. Weezer came along and they gave us a good time.
You know why people actually went to go and see that band? Because they thought they were going to see Wheatus.
No, they didn't. Wheatus were way after. Wheatus were about 6 or 7 years after it.
Was it really?
Check your facts. You've just embarrassed yourself on national podcasts.
My pop punk knowledge is embarrassing me.
Well, they're not pop punk. They're not
No,
pop punk.
no, that is fair. They're not pop punk.
They are alternative, and yeah. I will take that. And I got to be honest with you,
but I did like my alternative.
When
Seaball and like I said, I mentioned Cake.
Yeah.
And
well,
Paul used the word clever,
aren't that far away.
I think that could be part of what put them off. It's like they were trying to be too clever. We're better than other bands. That I don't know if I got that feeling. I don't know
because they probably are better than other bands.
No, stop being silly. It was. Well, you're on your own. You're on your own. You're isolated. You're all cold. You need to put your coat on now and get yourself. You need to put your dry robe on. Get warmed up.
You know what you need to do? Yeah, you need to put the Sweater song on, and you'll feel better.
Which is the Sweater song?
I think it's song number 5.
It's on that album.
Number 5 on now. Yeah, you've embarrassed yourself again.
I only played it once, and like I said, I forced myself to get through it because it was awful.
And I've got to be honest with you, I had a warm sensation all over my body, knowing that you would hate it, and you had to listen to it all. And apart from the last song, if you took the last song off, it's actually a short album as well. So I think, apart from yours, Neil, all the albums have been really short this month.
A ridiculous statement. If you take off some of the album, it would have been short. What's all that about?
Well, because when I was listening to it, I got to track 9 and I thought, do you know, it's fucking flown by that. And then track 10 comes up and it's like 7 minutes long. I was thinking, oh, I'd have been around the half an hour mark if it weren't for this track 10 being up to 40 minutes.
Buddy Holly was a single, wasn't it? That was the single.
It was.
I did recognise that.
Yeah. Oh, well done. Good for you.
Oh, thanks very much.
You've remembered something from when you were young.
94. Yeah.
How old were you?
30 years younger than now.
23.
23.
Wow.
And not.
No, I think. I mean, there was a market, wasn't there, for guitar-based rock, and that straddled everything in the 90s. But that's why a lot of the alternative and indie stuff, even the big stuff like Oasis and Blur, was still guitar-driven, which is why.
Yeah, it was like an American alternative to Britpop, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I've got to be honest, is a lot of Britpop, and don't kill me here, lads, but I really like a lot of Britpop.
Oh no,
and it's probably because it is, guitar-based music, and it's not that far away from grunge, alternative, Britpop. It's there's a lot of it that does.
It's too clean for grunge. It's too clean and grinny for grunge.
What? Listen, Weezer. You take your car to work, I'll take my board. And when you're out of fuel, I'll still be afloat.
What? Is that a lyric?
There you go. Well, listen to it on the playlist and you'll hear it again.
No.
Surf
Well, I do think you're on your own, pal. You're on your own.
I don't think I am.
Well, we'll find out. Like I say, listeners, let us know in the comments. Do you agree with Simon? Is that Weezer's album good? Are me and Hutch wrong? Let us know.
Hey, but at least you listened to it.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Smiling and grinning all the way through.
Did you say you had an email? Did you
I
say you
have.
had an email, Neil?
Yes, I have. I have an email from Mrs. Thomasina Dickfingers. She starts the email by saying, "Hello to all at the Miserable Metal Mind podcast." And we've said this before. It's very nice, isn't it, to talk like that?
Very nice. Yeah, it's nice of her.
Nice and polite. As the outdoor weekend festivals are now in full swing and Bloodstock is just around the corner, I thought I would share some of my festival musings with you and your listener. Have you and any of your elegant fans
Hi, Waylon.
experienced any of these? So, Simon, you're a big festival goer, so let's see if any of these points resonate with you.
Come on.
All in your party agreeing to take it easy on the first night, making this most used and least fulfilled promise ever made in festival history.
Yeah. It's the same on stag do's, isn't it? If you go away for a weekend on a stag do, the first night's the one where you have to get absolutely wankered.
I think I think that applies to anything when you're away for more than a night.
Yeah.
The number of times me and the wife have been on holiday and gone, right, we've got 7 days here, and then the following morning it's like upside down in a hedge somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all 19th pint.
So I think we're going to agree with Thomasina on that one, aren't we? Number 2, opening 3 chemical toilet doors before deciding it's much more hygienic to soil yourself and worry about it when you're sober. I think that's a bit harsh. That do you not?
Well, I can.
You don't wash, do you? You soil yourself regularly.
No. Well, this is it. I'm building up my E. coli line for going swimming in the Seine. But I think the worst one of that was Download, where the last time I was at Download when they had the 2 stages, was that 2010? It was 2010, I think, wasn't it? We were all on a camping in tents, and as you're doing, it was fucking horrible. And the morning I woke up on the Monday morning, like to go home, I woke up at about 4:00 in the morning, and I went to the toilets, and clearly Download have a policy where at 8:00 on the Sunday night they just stop emptying the toilets. Like fuck them, they can get fucked now.
Yeah.
So I was desperately trying not to soil myself, you know. So I ended up having a crap inside my mate's tent. And then
ex-friend's tent.
and then when he woke up and he said, "Mate, someone's took a shit in our tent," I went, "What a set of bastards!" It was only till the ride home that I had to fess up and say, "Listen, I've got something to tell you." That,
oh my god!
Had a crap in your tent. So
at least you're not messing up for the first time now, and he's just hearing it. But
yeah.
I think Download toilets are amongst the worst I've ever experienced, and that Monday morning thing where you think at least 7 people that were in here before me must have stood on the seat in order to shit onto that pyramid of turd, which is a foot above the actual seat of the toilet. And you think, at what point do you say, I'm not going to carry on?
Yes, that Monday thing is bad.
Yeah, just have a shit in the tent. And leave the tent.
I will say the Steelhouse toilets were spotless all weekend. The only problem I heard of was some idiots putting cans and bottles down a toilet and blocking it, which is...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But it fits in with the current state of the country, doesn't it? If you've got people that think they're taking back control by robbing Greggs, then there you go.
Indeed. Okay, Thomasina, you're doing quite well so far. What about this one? Maybe this one goes for you, Simon. Hoping the beaded bracelet that you bought from Next makes you look attractively hippie.
Do you know what? That's something about festivals that I cannot stand. At what point do people suddenly start thinking, this is the weekend I'm going to wear the certain thing that stands out? And there's a certain festival uniform that people, it's the first time at a festival, so let's dress like a fucking idiot. Why are you wearing these wellies? It's 30-degree heat. You do not need to wear wellies today of all days. Let's put some makeup, bright pink or bright green, illuminous makeup on our faces. Why? You wouldn't do it if you were just out normally shopping.
I can't say anything. I will have my usual Bloodstock cowboy hat on, and I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, well, people who wear cowboy hats as well.
Oh,
horrible.
Well, Thomasina,
cowboy hat is a very sensible thing to wear when it's 20 odd degrees in the sun, because it covers the whole of your head and your back, and the back of your neck.
And obviously, my mates can see me because I've got a stupid hat on.
I'm not convinced.
Oh, they can avoid you.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that the overweight, hairy bloke who decides to put his sister's dress on for the weekend is particularly...
That is what I'd never understood, yeah.
I've never understood that. It happens at every festival I've been to. There's always one guy in a mankini.
There is.
And there's a guy at Bloodstock every year who spends the entire weekend in a pair of Speedos.
Yes.
And he sits at the back of the Sophie tent all weekend in the same pair. Now, if it's above 20 degrees, I normally change my boxer shorts twice a day. So for him to be walking around in those bloody Speedos all weekend, and they're obviously the same pair unless he's got multiple pairs of the same colour, I just don't get that, because as an athlete, Simon, you will know that you get a bit sweaty in the heat and stuff, and I just think, whoa.
I think it is.
So there's a few things that I struggle with there. I'm trying to be as PC as I can. If you want to wear a dress, wear a dress. But
yeah. Okay, number 4. Turning slightly away from your friends for half a second, then turning back to find everyone's disappeared. That happens to me a lot, that one.
Well, I mean, you've got to have friends to turn away from first.
Oh yeah.
That's probably down to the speed that you and Paddy drink, though.
Could be.
I've noticed you two. It's like a fucking relay to Lemmy's bar when a band is on.
Yes, well that's
on that left hand side of the stage. I've been stood next to you and turned around and Paddy's disappeared, and then you come back with a beer, and then 2 seconds later you're off to the bar, and it's like, wow.
It's warm. You need to keep hydrated.
Absolutely.
We're going further down the list, and then the list is coming to the end. Don't worry. Spending the whole day, especially the second day, saying, "It's okay. I'll be all right in a minute." And then we've got risking that strange flat cider in the festival spirit, then spending 30 minutes discussing Conan's latest album, only to find out you are talking to a discarded baseball cap. So
there seems to be evidence here for you, Neil.
Do you reckon? Yeah. Do you reckon Thomasina? Yeah. There's something weird, isn't there, going on here? But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think thank you for writing in, Thomasina, and it seems like your thoughts and musings struck a chord.
Yes.
There we go, people. All done. Episode 14 in the bag. 4 albums for you to listen to and take a listen. You should. That is why we do this. 1 track from each band will be on the accompanying playlist just as a teaser. Jesus Christ, look at my Bloodstock tan. Ho, ho, ho. My choice did not go down too well with the boys this time. Well, I'm getting used to that. In saying that, Simon's choice was a bit of a damp ejaculate tissue also. Our Paul and Danny from Refulation Fest did fare a lot better though. Those albums were quite popular, and rightly so. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please comment and tell us your thoughts of what our choices are, what you thought. Were they shit, were they good, were they mediocre? You know the score. Like, subscribe, and all that internet bollocks. We need all that to keep this bit of fun going. Cheers all, and see you next time. Ta-da!